Your worth was never the question. Your wiring was. Today, we rewrite it. Hey, friend, go on ahead and get comfy and cozy, shoes off, and relax your shoulders. If your brain has been whispering not enough, you know, not enough time, money, love, roof, then breathe with me. This is your identity reset. Today, we are tracing how scarcity got wired in, choosing a richer identity, and practicing the moves that make abundance your normal and not your exception. Here's the vibe. We are not fixing you, babe, because you're not broken. We're updating the operating system so your daily choices match your God-given worth. We'll explore the roots, lock in the rich identity. Oh, can't wait to share it with you. And then get practical so you can put in the reps that flip scarcity to sufficiency in real time. Ready? Hand to heart. Let's begin. Hey, friend. All right, now let's dive in. First, let's get real about how scarcity sneaks in. Contrary to popular belief, it's not just about money or stuff. It's the quiet stories we've been told, the patterns we've absorbed, and the way that we've learned to measure our worth. But here's the thing. Those stories, they're not yours to carry anymore. Today, we're flipping the script. We are stepping into a new identity, one that's rooted in sufficiency, abundance, and unshakable worth. And it's not about waiting just for some big external shift to prove it to you. It's about rewiring from the inside out. So your choices, your energy, and your life start reflecting the truth of who you are. I'm telling you right now, once you trace down these roots where scarcity got its grip, it's going to be so much easier to lock in what I call the rich identity. Rich stands for receptive, intentional, confident, and held. These are the pillars of abundance, and they are already within you. And then finally, we'll get practical and we'll get into some doable shifts that make abundance feel like your new normal. Before we dive into how scarcity got rooted, I want you to just take a moment and think about this. What's the story you've been telling yourself about enough time, enough money, enough love, enough you? Is it a story of striving or chasing or waiting for the next thing to finally feel like you've arrived? Or is it a story of trust, of sufficiency, of knowing that you have, and of knowing that what you have and who you are is already enough? Here's the thing. Most of us didn't even write these stories ourselves. They were handed down to us by our families or culture or experiences. And then without even realizing it, we've been living them, letting them shape our choices, our energy, and our worth. But today, we're making the shift. As you trace those stories back to their roots, not to blame and certainly not to dwell, just to understand. But when you understand where scarcity got its grips, then you can start to loosen it. You can start to rewrite a story into one that feels expansive, abundant, and true to who you really are. For the record, scarcity isn't your personality, it's programming. It's the stack of stories your nervous system grabbed to be safe. When you can see the old code, you can write the new one. So let's talk about some of the sneaky stealth mode ways that scarcity got rooted. It could have showed up from childhood conditioning, cultural, or even generational beliefs. This one is huge. Growing up in environments where resources, whether it's financial, emotional, or even with attention, if it felt limited, that can plant the idea that there's never enough. Maybe you heard phrases like, we can't afford that, or money doesn't grow on trees, or you have to work twice as hard to get half as much. Or even if you just saw your parents constantly stressed about money, those beliefs can get deeply ingrained, even if subconsciously you're trying to break free. And if you're in a different place now, those early messages can still be running the show. Or maybe it's societal programming. As women, we're often taught to play small, not to take up too much space, and just be grateful for what you have. This programming can make you feel like you're not allowed to want more. And I just want to say lies, okay? Absolute lies. Or it shows up in the hustle mentality. This one is tricky because it's so celebrated. You might have been praised for your work ethic or your ability to just do it all. But that constant hustle can reinforce the idea that you have to earn abundance through struggle rather than just allowing it to flow, or that you have to hustle harder just to prove your worth. Now, while there are times when you may hustle in seasons or hustle in sprints, it's not a way of consistent living. And that's really where that hustle mentality can be at the root of scarcity. And now more than ever, the comparison culture, honey, the social media is a breeding ground for scarcity. Scrolling and seeing everyone's highlight reel, the bigger launches, more followers, the perfect families, and then you wind up feeling behind. That comparison algorithm, the constant measuring trains your brain to hunt for lack, not evidence. So the scroll leads to comparing, and then ultimately you shrink. It's not you, it's the feed you were fed. That constant comparison creates a sense of not enoughness. That can be really hard to shake. Even experiences can be the root of scarcity through trauma or past failures. If you've experienced a big failure, whether it was a business, a relationship, or something in your life, maybe you went through a divorce or just a major life change, it can create a fear of loss, rejection that keeps you stuck in that scarcity loop. You might be holding on to the belief that success isn't sustainable or that abundance is fleeting or it won't last. And then there's the fear of abandonment or rejection. You often see this showing up in relationships, friendships, or even in your audience. If you've ever felt afraid of being left behind or not chosen, you might cling to what has, or you might cling to what you have, even if it's not serving you, because the idea of losing it is so unbearable. Scarcity shows up so much in time and energy. I know as soon as we hear the word scarcity, our minds immediately go to money. But it's not always about that. You might just feel like there's not enough time to get everything done, and you're feeling like you're constantly running on empty. That leads to overcommitting, burnout, and the belief that you have to sacrifice yourself in order to succeed. And that within itself is exhausting. Then there's perfectionism. Ooh, this one is so sneaky. If you've ever felt like you're not doing enough or that you have to be perfect to deserve success, this can keep you stuck in a cycle of overworking and self criticism. Then there's what I call survival math. You learn to be useful or be left. And this is where the idea that overwork became love. Calm felt unsafe, so you filled the silence with doing constantly. If stillness makes you fidgety, that's old math trying to balance a bill that's already been paid for. Scarcity shows up in the praise economy. The good girl, get the gold stars for self erasure, approval over authenticity. You learn to read rooms instead of reading yourself, and polite became your personality. Or maybe it's the spiritual misreads. Humility got twisted into hiding. Head down, don't shine, and don't want too much. Listen, friend, God never asked you to dim your light. He asked you to steward it. And then there's all the micro shames of too much, too loud, too ambitious. And the translation your body heard is shrink to stay. So you learn to apologize for existing needs, which ultimately leads to the lack of self-worth. At its core, scarcity is often tied to self-worth. If you don't feel worthy of abundance, whether it's love, money, or opportunities, you'll unconsciously block it even when it's right in front of you. So many times your body is trying to tell you something. It's trying to show you through the tight jaw, the shallow breath, speed talking, or the self-deprecating jokes, deflecting compliments, or saying sorry when you mean to say thank you. And these are just some areas where scarcity can take root. And the key is to recognize that those beliefs aren't yours. They're stories you've more than likely inherited or absorbed. Once you recognize them, you can start to rewrite them into something that feels expansive, empowering, and aligned with your true self. And that's one of the reasons why I recommend journaling, because the beauty of journaling is that deeper awareness that it unlocks. You don't have to go back into time and re traumatize yourself. It's just being aware of the root of it so you can take your power back to decide how you'll operate and who you'll be as a result of it. No longer being at the mercy of it running you. Now you're in the driver's seat and designing an outcome that supports and honors the best of you. So if you want to do a quick journaling check-in, here's 3 amazing prompts. What early moment taught me that more of me equaled less love? And as you journal about this, release it without shame or guilt. You survived. Now you get to live. The second prompt, where do I still bargain my worth? Is it through your time, your boundaries, or are you selling yourself short somewhere? Name the bargains. And the third prompt, reframe to keep. Recognize I am not dramatic, I'm accurate. These roots explain the reflex. They don't define my future. Then, as you've completed that journaling exercise, inhale possibility and exhale permission, because you've just granted it to yourself. Okay, babe, I have to share this with you. This is the spark you've been waiting for. Let's ignite it. Especially if you're ready to stop playing small and start living as the main character in your life. It's my Ignite Your Main Character Energy journal prompts. And let me tell you, this isn't your regular schmegular journaling exercise. These prompts are designed to help you break through self-doubt, reconnect with your power, and start showing up like the confident, unstoppable woman you know you are meant to be. Think of it as your personal roadmap to clarity, self-love, and that next level energy that turns heads and changes lives. Here's the best part. These prompts are quick, powerful, and totally doable, even if you've got a packed schedule. So grab your favorite pen, a cup of tea, or a raw milk latte, whatever your fancy thing is, and let's get to work on creating the kind of life that feels so aligned with who you truly are. You can grab the prompts at encourageovereverything.com or just check the show notes. Trust me, this is the spark you've been waiting for. Let's ignite that main character energy, friend. So grab your journal or just settle in. This is the moment to rewrite the story and reclaim your worth. Let's dive back on into this episode. Now, friend, if you thought what we've already covered has been powerful, let's get into the next real shift. We're not just tweaking habits or slapping on some surface level affirmations. We are upgrading who you be, because when you shift your identity, your actions naturally follow. It's not about forcing abundance, it's about embodying it. Cue the framework, because the rich identity has entered the chat. And this is your new operating system. Rich is for receptive, intentional, confident, and held. These aren't just buzzwords. They are the foundation of living in abundance. When you root yourself in these pillars, scarcity doesn't stand a chance. So let's break it down. What does it actually look like to be receptive, intentional, confident, and held? And how you can start living from this place today. So let's get into this upgrade, friend. Rich identity. The R is for regulated. Why? Because a regulated nervous system lets you choose, not chase. Regulated nervous system says, I create inner safety. I don't hustle for it. So, this is where you can just do a simple breath work. It can just be 1 minute of just breathing in for 4, exhaling for 6. And your new anchor is calm is my new credibility, because no more scattered energy being all over the place. No more having a deep desire and yet contradicting it with all of the doubts and fears. We have got to get that nervous system regulated, honey, so that you can actually rest and be calm in your credibility. The I is for intentional, because you are inherently worthy. Your value is not up for debate or discounts. Your worth does not equal wages. You don't earn oxygen. Worthy is your birthright. You never had to do anything to earn it. It just simply is who you are and deserving of everything good that belongs to you. So, how can this live out in your day to day life? Is it raising a boundary? Is it confidently sharing something that you need? Is it raising your price where you've been undercharging? Your new anchor is my worth is fixed and my life reflects it. Boop. I know that's right. C is for confident. Why? Because you are called and chosen. Calling kills comparison. Purpose puts you in your own lane. Remember, friend, you are on assignment. Your gifts are on purpose. So, what's your one confidence rep going to be? Is it a daily assignment check? Is it doing one thing that fulfills calling? Is it pouring into your cup before you start pouring into everyone else's cup? And then anchor it in. I move like a woman on a mission. And H is held because you are provided for. Provision is a partnership between divine and design. Please remember, friend, you are supported by God, the universe, source, whomever you believe in, by community, and by systems you build. So create one 10-minute system that supports you. It could just be blocking some time on your calendar or setting up that auto reply finally. How can you spend 10 minutes doing something that supports you? Your new anchor is I am held, I'm helped, and I am provided for. And that rich identity really is the doorway that leads you into powerful reframes and mindset shifts. You recognize that rest multiplies your results. Okay, friend? Because you are going from scarcity to stewardship. You direct resources. You don't have to beg for them. So that whole there's not enough mentality, we're shifting into I allocate what matters, because that's what a good steward does. And instead of chasing, we are absolutely putting you in a position to receive. We are turning force off and turning flow on. Instead of that mentality of I need to push harder, shift into receive mode and start thinking I'm making room to be met. And while we're at it, let's do some language upgrades, because as your coach, I love listening to the words that you say and the tone of voice that you use that really reflects the meaning that you've given it. If you work with me one-on-one, I love to catch it and rewind it for you, because it shows exactly where you are and the beliefs that you're holding in relation to what you want and deeply desire. So when I hear you say, I hope it works, I often hear the doubt that you say that with. So we want to reframe that and say, I'm building what works. When you say I'm fine, I hear the sarcasm because you don't really mean that you're fine. We want to reframe that and shift into here's what would make this a yes for me. And for the one who's trying to have a baby, that word trying, it's so heavy. We want to reframe that and say, we are parents in preparation, inviting new life and trusting the timing. Friend, the words you say write your future. Right now, you are simply living the reality you repeatedly spoke about and thought about. The more you reframe the negative or less supportive thoughts and language, the more you begin to write the future you're dreaming of. So say it with me: identity first, actions follow, evidence stacks. This is where abundance becomes real, when you recognize that it's already here. When you touch your desires daily, when you protect your environment with boundaries and celebrate your micro wins and receive, expecting those miracles and not just waiting on the other shoe to drop. That's how you embody abundance. That's how you make it lived in and not just believed in. Now, friend, you know around here, we love us a good two-step because everyone can do it and it always gets the party started. Now, a scarcity mindset, just like negative thoughts, they won't disappear overnight, especially the ones that you've practiced over and over again. But the more that you notice them, the more chances you have to rewire them. So, step one, pause and notice. Simply catch the heavy phrase. Things like trying, should, sorry, or someday. Just pause and notice when you catch it. And then step two, choose and breathe. Just place your hand to heart, inhale, and then swap in your upgrade. Instead of I'm trying to have a baby, we're inviting new life and trusting the timing. Instead of money is tight, reframe into I'm directing resources with wisdom while my capacity expands. Instead of I don't have proof yet, shift into evidence is progress and I'm stacking them reps, babe. And a bonus somatic seal. After the reframe, just inhale in and exhale audibly. Let the sigh and sound roll from your lips and roll those shoulders back. Let your body feel the new line. I could not be more proud of you for doing the work. Now, let's take a quick pause for the cause because I've got something so good for you. If you've been vibing with this episode and you're ready to step into your main character energy, like fully owning your confidence and showing up as the star of your own life, then grab the freebie, the main character confidence checklist. This isn't just another checklist that sits in your downloads folder. It's your go-to guide for ditching self-doubt, setting boundaries like a boss, and stepping into the unshakable self-worth you've been craving. Think of it as your confidence blueprint. Simple, actionable, and designed to help you show up as the most magnetic version of yourself. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to head on over to encourageovereverything.com or check the show notes and download it now so you can start making moves today, because baby, the world is waiting for you to take center stage and it's time to make it happen. Now, let me pour into you real quick. Friend, you were never missing your worth. You were missing wiring. And wiring is so wonderfully updatable, if that's a word. If it's not, we making it one, okay? Every time you regulate your breath, tell the truth about what you need, and actually let yourself receive, you are recoding sacrifice into sufficiency. You don't have to audition for rooms you've already outgrown. Your gifts are not accidents. They are assignments. When the old story whispers small, you answer with stewardship. When fear tries to rush you, you slow down and remember, I am held. I am helped. I am provided for. The same God, source, or universe who called you is the one who carries you and will send you the people and systems to meet you where you're going. Move like a woman who trusts in her timing, her preparation, and her provider. We are not chasing, we are choosing. We are not shrinking, we are shining. Your waiting season is not here to punish you. It's here to prepare you for everything you asked for, to increase and expand your capacity of what you hold. Because those big dreams, those huge desires of your heart, they need room to live and breathe. And that's exactly what you're building. who you are supposed to be to have the capacity to hold, nurture, and grow what you've asked for. What do you have to learn? What skills do you need to obtain or polish? Who do you need to become? Is the most important question you can answer. There's a life waiting for you that feels like oxygen, one where your calendar reflects your calling, your money mirrors your value, and your relationships honor your heart. That life isn't someday if you're perfect. It's today in the steps, the bold moves, and holy reps, a breath before a decision, a boundary at the right moment, a brave ask that opens a new door. Keep it consistent, sacred, and stacked. Let this week be your rich week. Regulate before you respond. Remember your intention. You are inherently worthy. Move with confidence like you are called and chosen, and build like a woman who is held and provided for. If your brain hunts for lack, give it evidence. Write down 3 ways you were supported today. Teach your mind your reality. And if you need a sign, this is it. You are not behind. You are being built. Keep practicing your language upgrades. Keep honoring the boundaries that protects your becoming. Keep receiving with open hands. The story isn't will it work? It's I'm building what works. I'm rooting for you, friend. Crown up, breathe, and move like the woman who's held, provided for, and on assignment. And remember, we don't shrink, we shine, all because together we can. Encourage over everything. All right, friend, before we go, let me leave you with this. You are so much closer to the life you are dreaming of than you think. Every time you show up for yourself, whether it's listening to this podcast, journaling, or taking one step forward, you are rewriting your story and stepping into your power. If this episode spoke to you, please do this. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And if you're feeling extra generous, leave a review. Your words mean the world to me, and they help this podcast reach more women who need these conversations. And hey, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend who could use a little extra encouragement today. Let's spread this main character energy far and wide. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep shining, keep growing, and keep stepping into the confident and empowered woman you are becoming. Now strut up on out of here, giving main character energy only.